Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Coach Jay. I'm an ex-felon who did a lot of time in prison. I got out, started a business immediately, and now I train doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, a lot of high-level individuals in my community. And in training them, I learned a lot of lessons. So I just want to share these lessons with you, and hopefully it can help you either elevate or motivate or inspire somebody else or yourself. All right, so I've been giving the same lesson a lot recently. It's a lesson from Miyamoto Musashi, one of the best, or not best, but one of the most famous samurais in Japan. And he was one of the best. So, quick backlog. When I was younger, when I was incarcerated, I fell in love with boxing. And I had this coach. This was my first coach. His name was Knockout. And this guy was mean. And what he would do is he would get a group of young guys together and he would train them on boxing. That's his whole thing. He loved getting young guys together, young kids, young men, and just training them on boxing. That's how he did his time. So he gave me this book one time. It was called The Book of Five Rings, or Five Spheres, however it was translated, because it was written in Japanese. And it's about Miyamoto Musashi, who was, like I said, one of the most famous samurais. So I'm going to give you a little story on Miyamoto, and this is going to fit into the coaching lesson of today. So Miyamoto was one of the best samurais, but he never had a trainer. When the story tells it, right, this is documented history. When he was 11, I believe it was 11, it's been a long time since I read the book, but his father tried to kill him, threw a sword at him. His father was a martial artist. Miyamoto, as a young boy, tried to correct his father. His father threw a sword at him. Miyamoto ran away, never came back home. He lived in the woods, and nobody ever trained him on how to fight. He just learned from observing and from learning, and just naturally was just gifted. And he started going out and traveling Japan. And back then, you would fight to the death, right? It wasn't a bad thing. It was a cultural thing. It was an honor thing. You'd fight to the death. And by the time he was 30, he killed over 60 men with a sword, fighting to the death. He never bathed, never showered, never had a trainer. He lived in the woods, and he would just travel and test himself against the greatest of the great. So when he was 30, he quit killing. And what he would do is he would travel, and when someone would challenge him, he would pick up a stick, and he would fight them with a stick, and he would win. Beat them with a stick, boom, boom, boom. They're trying to kill him. He beats him with a stick, and he would travel. And people started following him because he was so great. He built a whole school up without even trying, and he was so unorthodox. But here's the beautiful thing. In his later years, like I said, he built a school up. There was a group of young kids, and they asked him how he was so fast. There's a story where he fought 30 people at once, and he won 30 people. So these kids, they say, Miyamoto, how are you so fast? How do you fight 30 people at once? And these aren't like folklores. This is documented history, right? Japan, they were really big on documenting what was taking place. And he told the kids, I'm no faster than anybody. I'm not. He said, but I'm quicker at getting back to center. So if someone's in front of him, he's boom. They're to the side, he's boom. But he's always coming back to center. Like he's just fast at getting back to center. No matter where they're at, he's boom. So the book is called The Book of Five Rings. Beautiful, short book. And there's a lot of lessons in it like this. But the lessons are deeper than killing, deeper than fighting, right? So here's how I interpret this as a coach who helps people get into great shape. We're all going to fall off track. You're going to fall off track. I'm going to fall off track. And so is everybody else, because we're human. It's not about falling off track that's going to happen. It's about how fast we get back to center. It's about not taking a bad day and turning it into a bad week, a bad month, a bad season. How fast can we get back to center? That's the only thing we need to focus on. So for me to tell you this, I'm going to tell you the whole thing. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace when you fall off track, and get back on. Give yourself grace. Don't feel guilty. Do what you got to do to get through whatever stressful situation you're in. But don't sit in it for 2 days, 3 days, a month, 2 months, and so on. So the coaching lesson of the day, get back to center. The book is The Book of Five Rings, or Five Spheres, is however it's translated. It's a short book. If I butchered the story, forgive me, but you understand the moral of what I was giving you. But that's a story that I remember when I read it as a kid. Love, energy, strength, Bamboo Athletics.